and we're currently under a winter weathery advisory until 10 p.m. We're expecting to see some snowfall with the wind chill plummeting once again into single digits, which creates very dangerous conditions. Now, as the snow showers move through our area, there's a real chance of what are known as snow squalls, which are scattered snow bursts. You're hearing some conversation about those with the snow bomb, the cyclone bomb that's going on up in the Northeast. So lots of huffing and puffing about our weather these days. But this does present some dangerous potential conditions to us because these squalls can produce a really quick accumulation of snow in targeted areas, and most importantly, limit visibility if you're out and about and driving in the snow, so obviously very dangerous. And since there is a chance of this happening while folks are commuting or later on this evening if you're out and about, we need everybody to be aware of this and be alert of your surroundings. We've already had one accident take place just a few moments ago that we'll hear more about here in a moment. Now, there's a visibility issue with these squalls, but they can also result in slick and dangerous roadways, as well as potentially downing trees and having power outages also. It's also cold, so if you feel like you need to drip your faucets so your pipes don't freeze, always remember that. That is always a real pain when that takes place in your house, and it's hard to get plumbers sometimes to show up because they're under such high demand. Now, Emergency Services Director Jody Myman has been in close contact with our partners with the National Weather Service. Jody is going to share with us what we can expect this afternoon and this evening, and he's going to tell us about the dangers also, potential dangers of being stuck in a snow squall and how you should respond if in fact that happens. Also, as people are commuting, what they should have in their vehicles, and he will also give us some tips on how to stay safe at home and on the roadway. So Jody, take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. Like you said, we've been in constant contact with the National Weather Service. They say that we could experience these snow squalls between 4 and 7 p.m. tonight, potentially a little bit earlier than that. But obviously, you want to make sure, no matter where you're at, the area that you're in, you want to know the hazards that could be coming. If you're in a snow squall or you're driving and you get put into one of those, make sure you slow down. Make sure your vehicle is completely clear of ice and snow before you travel. If you're leaving your house or leaving work to go somewhere else, let somebody know where you're going. That way they can, if something does happen, they know where to start the search at. They know where you were traveling to, and things like that. Make sure you do have your survival kit, like the mayor mentioned. Inside of that, make sure that you have jumper cables, a shovel, flashlight, warm clothes, blankets, some snacks, bottles of water. Make sure if you go anywhere tonight that you have your all your electronic devices fully charged when you go. That way you don't have to worry about charging those or those going dead on you. Leave extra time when you go somewhere. That way you can make sure that you can get there in an ample amount of time. Snow squalls can come at a moment's notice, and they can be in very short durations. So it can be very clear at one moment, and then all of a sudden you've got the snow squall coming in, and it can be almost whiteout conditions. Keep safe traveling distances, especially with when following snow plows as well. We don't want to hamper the good work that Public Works does out on the roads as well. Stay indoors if you can. If you do need to go outside, make sure you dress warm, know the signs and symptoms of frostbite, so that if you start to feel those things, you can go in and take care of those appropriately. Make sure you're caring for your pets, your neighbors. Like the mayor said, it's going to turn extremely cold over the next few nights. Make sure you're taking care of the things in your house, your water lines and things like that, so that when it freezes and thaws out, and we've had that, we've experienced several times of that over the last few days. So you could have some expansion there and start to see where you could have some water leaks and things like that. Always, if we have power outages, know how to contact LG&E. And if you do have power outages, never use generators inside your house, your garage, or around a window where the fumes can get sucked in. That's one of the leading causes of death in winter weather. When we have that. Also, if there is a snow squall warning that's put out by the National Weather Service, it can be in 30 to 60-minute durations. It can trigger what's called a wireless emergency alert, which will come across your devices. If you get that alert, it means that you are in or entering into that alert area. So make sure if you're not experiencing those conditions at that time, you're very close to potentially experiencing those conditions and take appropriate precautions.
Thank you, Jody. We appreciate that. And if please remember to have these emergency kits with you. We've seen this winter where there's been some pretty serious backups on interstates, most notably in Virginia, where some folks were stuck there between 18 and 36 hours. So we certainly don't anticipate that happening here, but you never know. That's why they're called accidents. So be prepared. All right, let's talk about Public Works. Our Public Works crews from East, Central, and West districts worked through the night monitoring snow routes and applied salt where needed on hills, bridges, and overpasses. And the good news is, as of right now at 3:30 p.m., our metro roadways are in really good shape, and our crews are going to continue to monitor them and adjust accordingly. So right now, we're going to hear from Metro Public Works Director Vanessa Burns with more information on our roadways. Director Burns.
Boy, talking about an update to an update. The Department of Public Works and our snow team, we were using, as Mayor Fischer had said, we were using our crews last night from the east, west, and central divisions because it was scheduled last night, not just the snow, but it gets cold and it starts freezing. So they've been working last night and through the day. We have decided to bring in the rest of the snow team because we're looking at it potentially getting colder, and we want to make sure that we at least get some treatment out there. And we will stay out there tonight until all the work is done and we feel that it's safe for all our employees. So as I've said in the past, I want to thank the snow team for all that they do. I want to make sure that we talk about our partnership with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinets because we do the city streets and some of the state streets inside of Metro, but the Kentucky Cabinet does the interstate. So I think it's important that people know that. So we will continue to treat as needed this afternoon and into the evening and hope that it doesn't get as cold as it can be and it turns kind of icy. We've already had one accident around the corner at 6th Street with a light pole totally down. So you got to be careful as you go through and travel through during the day. So I just want to thank everybody. I think in the past we've said slow down because coming around the corners or whatever, you can easily have an accident. There's black ice. And so we just hope that everyone tries as best to get home if you have to be out, and especially do what the mayor says, what Jody says about the tips related, because you just never know what's going to happen. These weather systems are kind of weird and can change at a moment's notice. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Burns. And yeah, we are seeing more weird and rapid changes in our weather patterns that we've seen in any of our lifetimes. So let's be prepared. I want to thank all of our team on the snow team that's out there. Obviously, they're going to be working late into the night and all morning as well, keeping the roads clear and just monitoring as need be. So that's some hard work. So I just want to thank everybody associated with that, as well as all of our first responders that are at it 24/7, 365. So thank you very much for all the good work that you all are doing. They help us stay safe, and obviously that's what we're trying to do here from your Metro government standpoint. All right, let's talk about our youth. To help keep kids safe, JCPS had an early dismissal for their students. They canceled extracurricular activity for this afternoon and their evening as well. But one of the things that always comes up when there's snow is that kids want to know, and I'd say older kids, adults want to know if they can go sledding in our parks. So we've got 6 local parks with incredibly fun and designated sledding hills. And so if you're thinking about that, the common rule of thumb for determining if to sled is if there's enough snow accumulation where you can't see the blades of the grass, then get your sled or your saucer and get out there and get after it. But we need enough snow so that you can do that. Our parks are Cherokee Park, Joe Creason Park, George Rogers Clark Park, McNeely Lake Park, Tyler Park, and Charlie Vettner Park. Go there for sledding, and remember, sledding is only permitted on designated hills and only when the sledding hill open sign is displayed. So check it out. I go to Cherokee Park. It's a good time. Now, let's talk about some of our citizens who don't have the luxury of being inside. So as always, when the winter weather turns severe or dangerous, we're in conversation with the Coalition for the Homeless and other partners, reviewing shelter operations and capacity and supplies, making sure they're in good shape, and working with them any way that we can to help some of our vulnerable citizens to get through harsh winter weather. A reminder that Operation White Flag goes into effect when the temperature or wind chill is below 35 degrees, so clearly we're under white flag conditions right now. And all persons needing shelter can stay at the participating shelters while those weather conditions persist. The participating Operation White Flag shelters include Wayside Christian Mission at 432 East Jefferson Street, St. Vincent de Paul, that's for men only, at 1034 South Jackson Street, and the Salvation Army Center as the day shelter at 911 South Brook Street. So to locate the nearest shelter and to reserve a bed, residents can also call the single point of entry line at 502-637-2337. 502-637-2337. Also, under conditions like this, Jody alluded to it, remember pets, if they're outside, they need to come inside. And Louisville Metro Animal Services is reminding residents to contact animal control to report pets left outside without proper shelter. And if you're unsure whether to place a service request, we encourage you to call and discuss your options with an officer at 502-473-PETS, 473-PETS. And then last, any loved ones you know or friends or just folks you're looking after that you might be concerned about when cold weather comes our way, please check in on them and make sure that they're in good shape as well. With that, we're happy to take any questions from the media. Jess?
I'd like to remind media to please place your questions in the chat addressed to everyone. Mayor, it does not appear there are any questions from the media.
Okay, great. Thanks everybody for being prepared. We'll continue to provide updates on our social media services. So please, everybody, stay warm, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.